Do you want to meet the founder of the Flying Cowboys? We're going to today in the hangar.
Welcome to In the Hangar. We are at Stearman Field for the ACCAs, and I'm Dan Milliken.
And I'm Christy Wong.
We are sponsored by Wingfield Aviation, a trusted and transparent source for airplane maintenance.
And Flying Eyes Optics. We both love our Flying Eyes sunglasses.
Christy, who do we have today? What's going on?
Today, we have got the founder of the Flying Cowboys, Cory Robin, with us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here, Cory.
Me too.
So what exactly is a Flying Cowboy?
You know, we're a group of friends who love to promote aviation and fly in the backcountry, get with nature, and just play with airplanes. Build them, modify them, race them, land in crazy spots, just have a great time.
Okay.
Do what you should do with airplanes.
Yeah.
Have fun.
So how big are the tires on your airplanes?
My tires, well, they publish them at 35 inches, and you know, depending on how much air you put in them, you can pump those things up to about 40.
Okay.
As big as they
Wow.
get. If they made bigger, I would put them on for sure.
So okay, for the new pilots or people newer to aviation, what's the advantage of a big tire?
Well, we often fly in, I wouldn't even call them airstrips, but unimproved areas, whether it be a pasture, a mountainside. Up in Alaska, we'll land on, you know, riverbeds or rock beds or whatever the case may be. And it's just so that you can smooth out those really rough areas. And I'll land in places where, you know, in a river bottom with rocks that are up to about 10 inches big in diameter. And not even think about it because those tires are just amazing. They're super soft. If you ever have an opportunity to see a bush plane in the big tires, and you touch the tires, most tires you touch, they're really hard and rigid. These are like marshmallows. Literally, they're very soft. I run at about 3.5 to 4 psi.
3.5 to 4 psi.
Yeah, so they're just very soft, and they just mold around with the terrain. And actually, they're a pilot maker. They make you look like you know what you're doing because you don't bounce.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. You know, I was giving rides yesterday to a whole bunch of YouTubers and fans and everybody, and that's the one comment I kept getting on my STOL landings. And I was plopping it down really hard, but it smooths it out like butter. So nice.
Well, when you land on marshmallows, that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so if we put those tires on your airplane, it'll make your landings look better.
And I will not be able to retract, but you know.
Who needs retractable gear anyway?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're actually going to go out and fly.
Yeah, I'd
And-
love to take you up and do
we'll
some
take you up on
short
that
field
one.
landings and.
Oh, yeah.
and-
I'm definitely going to take you up on that, but I have to feel the tires. So
Absolutely. What I recommend is you climb up on top of them, and it's like jumping on a little trampoline.
Okay, well, now that I've been given permission, I will jump on your tires.
Absolutely, do it. It's fun.
Okay, so question, the Flying Cowboys, we hear that term a lot. How did that begin? What are and who are the Flying Cowboys?
You know, there's 10 of us as far as who they are, and you know, we're a group of friends who have been flying in the backcountry for years and years, and it just kind of came together organically on accident. You know, everybody has their tribe, right? And I really encourage people to find that tribe, especially in aviation. There's so many cool, I call them microcultures, but you know, we're just a bunch of guys who all share the same interest, which is primarily general aviation. But we all have our own little flair. You've got, you know, Trent Palmer, who's in the film industry, and he does the more, you know, artistic, curated, crafted, master videos.
Cinematic.
Yeah, just absolutely gorgeous filming. Every second of his videos are just fantastic, beautiful footage. And then you know, more on the more rough edges myself, where I kind of throw things together, and I just really like to play and have fun and motivate and inspire people. That's kind of I try to do that. But you know, we all have different interests, whether you're Mike Patey and you're racing airplanes at 450 miles an hour, or you're flying a Rands, you know, the very most inexpensive bush plane you can get in your Hal Stockman. And I like to say he's the most famous guy on the internet that he doesn't even have the internet, but he's one of the Flying Cowboys. And so everybody thinks that you know, we're this group of people, and you know, we just go and tear up the environment and have fun in the backcountry. But we're actually all we're aviation advocates, but we're also protecting and preserving these airstrips. And so we're very respectful from that perspective. We've launched what's called the hashtag Heavier Out campaign, where we encourage backcountry pilots to go and clean up. You know, if you see trash out there, pick it up and, you know, keep things wild, keep things beautiful, and preserve it for the next generation. And that's where the aviation advocacy comes in. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I do the YouTube videos, is I kind of feel the responsibility as a pilot to share the amazing things that we get to see, that a very small percentage of people get to see, and preserve it for the next generation of pilots, that, you know, so that they can also have that same opportunity.
That's
So that's really what the Flying Cowboys is all about. It's about aviation advocacy, but at its grassroots, among our, you know, close circle of friends. We're just close buddies who like to get together and have barbecues and camp in the backcountry and take our airplanes into cool spots.
But you're cowboys.
Well, some of us are more cowboy than others, and there's different kind of cowboys. Some, you know, I come
You go
from
to ranches and help
I was going to say, you're a legitimate cowboy.
Yeah, we do a lot of volunteer work for ranches. At least the guys in Utah do. You know, myself, Mark Patey, Mike Patey, Jason Sneed. We're right in a very small, tight area in the Salt Lake City, Utah County area, and we have ranchers that we're friends with in the area, and we'll volunteer all the time to do everything from roundup, which is, you know, a couple times a season, they'll round up the cattle, move them from one grazing land to another, and we'll fly the real cowboys, the horseback cowboys, around in our airplanes. We'll fly the supplies, the tackle, the, you know, the saddles, the feed around in the airplanes, because you can move when you're moving equipment from 10,000 feet to 5,000 feet, but it's only 5 miles. On a mule, it takes all day.
You're right.
And an airplane takes 5 minutes. And so we can move a lot of stuff in our airplanes. And we just do it for fun as volunteers because we're friends with these ranchers. We're not real cowboys from that perspective because we're flying airplanes around. Let's be honest. We're
I mean, cowboys didn't do
we're
that
having
in
fun.
the 1880s.
yeah, my hands are very soft.
Today I learned.
Yeah, right.
I haven't worked hard for a living for a long, long time. But yeah, we just have fun and we want to give back. You know, all the guys in Utah, we also fly search and rescue with our aircraft.
wow.
And, you know, you'll often find us, you know, flying grids, flying patterns, you know, when, you know, we're very close with the Utah Sheriff's Association, specifically Utah County, Summit County. These are counties in Utah.
Right.
But, you know, the sheriff's departments will call us up whenever somebody's lost or they need to find somebody. And, you know, I've even done patrols where they'll call and say, hey, we're doing you know, we're following this vehicle. Can you jump in the airplane and help us with this? But there's all
Who
kinds
needs
of
a
different things we
helicopter
do.
when you've got, you know, the STOL airplanes flying over top of you?
Right, yeah, and it's very convenient. You know, Mark, for example, did a search this spring over a lake. And, you know, you can also search with boats and things like that, but aircraft, especially bush planes, where you can have a wide performance envelope anywhere from 120 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour. You can really get in close and see a lot of areas, especially when you're looking straight down into, you know, different types of terrain and foliage and that kind of stuff. So airplanes and helicopters. And Mark Patey, you know, one of the Flying Cowboys, he also has a helicopter. So we'll do searches in fixed wing and in the whirly birds. It's all just in good fun.
No, that's amazing. What would you say is the most challenging airstrip that you've gone into?
Oh, that's
Airstrip
a difficult
being
one.
Subjective, of course, because
Yeah.
you've flown into areas that weren't designated airstrips, but you were like, hey, we're going to land there because we can.
Yeah, and most of it is, boy, that's a difficult question because it's difficult to assess the complexity of an approach. It's usually the approach that's the difficult part.
Okay.
Because I like to pick areas that are easy buttons. You know, once you get on the ground, I like a nice long rollout. I'm not the best of the Flying Cowboys by any stretch. And so if you've got somebody like Kevin Quinn or Mark and Mike Patey or Jason Sneed, Jason Sneed's probably got more carbon cub time than anybody on the planet. He is I call him the master craftsman. And I really look up to him. He's a close friend of mine, but I'm learning from him all the time. And, you know, I was at Oshkosh last year doing the STOL demonstration there. And, you know, I was talking to Jason, how can I knock 10 feet off my landing so I can beat Kevin Quinn, who's also a Flying Cowboy? And we have this competition among us, and we're all learning from each other and pushing each other. But as far as, you know, the most challenging airstrip I've ever landed at, I honestly, I don't think I could come up with one because they're all unique and different.
Okay, so I got a question. You're a YouTuber now, relatively
Right.
new to it. 2 years ago, I guess you jumped into it. What's been your most rewarding aspect of being a flying aviator vlogger?
You know, it was really unexpected, but I think the most rewarding aspect is the response that we've gotten from I call them the true fans, the real believers. And it's not necessarily even the pilots, it's the people that look at what Trent Palmer or Mike does or Kevin does, and they look at the video content, and it might be the scenery that they're attracted to, or the personality. But it's the fans that watch the channel that we've touched in interesting ways, unexpectedly. You know, we're just a bunch of guys having fun with airplanes, and we didn't have any idea that we would be able to make a difference in people's lives in a very real and authentic way. So that's kind of the.
Like specifically somebody that you've made a difference.
Well, gosh, there's a few, whether it be the people getting their license or whatever, but something that touched me, this is about a year ago, last summer, I had my kids at Disneyland, and there was this gentleman in a motorized wheelchair that approached me, and it was a little interesting because I noticed him kind of staring at me, and I was like, wow, this guy's really giving me the eyes. What's going on? I didn't get it because I was, now if I'm at an airport and I'm approached, I kind of understand what's going on, but I'm at Disneyland and I've only been doing this for a few months, and I just kind of assume nobody's watched the videos or whatever the case may be. But he approached me, and he'd been through a rough time. He was a veteran, he's paraplegic now, and been through some tough times. And he said, Cory, I found your videos, and then I found Mike's videos, and I found Trent's videos, and I've been binge watching all these things, and I've been going through such a tough time. He goes, you guys have saved my life. I was really in a bad place, and your videos have inspired me to do what I can do. And as a paraplegic, he's never going to fly an airplane, but he's super interested in aviation, and he likes to see it and engage. And I still am in contact with him. A really nice guy, and he's involved with an Experimental Aircraft Association chapter down in Southern California now, and he goes and does volunteer work, what he can do. And boy, people like that, when they approach you, it really gives you that sense of, wow, there's some weight and responsibility. There's some reality to this that we didn't even anticipate. And that's really the motivator to keep going. Whenever everybody gets the burnout. I mean, this, for the most part, it's a very unromantic thing to do. We fly the airplanes, we have a lot of fun, but when you get into the cutting room and you're editing videos and you're trying to find the right footage, it's work. It really is. But it's those people that you've inspired, that approach you, that have seen the content, that keep you going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys as the Flying Cowboys, or just for you personally?
I'm on a big nationwide tour right now. I don't know what to say as far as what's next. We're just going to continue to have fun with airplanes. And the most important thing is exposing new people to aviation and inspiring the people that are already in it.
Absolutely. I love that. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Cory, for coming on the
pleasure.
show today. It's been great getting to know you, and more importantly, it's going to be great getting to ride.
Oh, I can't wait. We're going to go out and I'm going to jump in.
Let's go get in Ghost.
All right.
All right.
We'll
Thanks
do
for
it.
coming.
All right. Well, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, share. It's great talking with all these great YouTubers this weekend.
You bet. So we'll see you guys in the hangar.